Hello, everybody. Once again, we have a new episode of the For Honor Heroes School. And as you can see by this massive, muscly, dirty body with the horned helmet, indeed, it is the Raider. We have the Raider going on today for our class. And with me is a man who has seen everything that this class has to offer. His name is FoodTruck. And FoodTruck, thank you so much for being here and taking your time out of your busy day to show me the class.
No problem, man. I'm glad to be here to help.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you responded to my invitation because you're actually really experienced at the Raider. Could you give us a little overview of what exactly your experience is with For Honor and the Raider, and especially why exactly you chose the Raider over any of the other 11 classes in the game?
Well, I've taken part in 3 out of the 4 available tests for the game. I was in the technical test, the closed beta, and the open beta. The reason I chose the Raider is because he has some of the hardest hitting attacks in the game, besides maybe the Shigoki, and he's also the healthiest Vanguard in the game with the same amount of health as both the Conqueror and the Warlord. While most players see the Raider and expect him to be slow and easy to avoid, he has a surprising amount of speed, which will catch a lot of players off guard.
Nice. So you think you ready to show us those moves?
Of course.
All right, then let's jump right in.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, once again, we are in the courtyard, and I have a raider, and you have a raider, but you're a lot better with the raider than I am. So at this point, I have to ask you, could you give me an overview of the basic bread and butter movements that the raider can do? Like just a quick overview of everything he's got.
Of course, I can do that for you. First, we're going to go over his basic combos. He has 3 hit strings that he can do.
Okay.
First is light, light, light.
All right. So light, light, light. Nice. Okay.
He has heavy, heavy, heavy.
Okay, I already see that I will have no problem remembering any of these inputs.
Right. And his third hit string is the same as heavy, 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 but instead with a light attack in the middle.
Oh, okay. So, heavy, light, heavy. Nice, okay.
All right, he has some other moves as well. For
Okay.
instance, he has a Pommelstrike,
Oh, wow.
where if it makes contact, it will stun you for about 2 seconds.
Oh, nice. And of course, because I'm stunned, I can't see the enemy UI and everything, yeah.
Right. He also has a move that is unique to both him and the Kensei, where he can dash and guard break you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, nice.
All right. And his zone attack, which is my favorite attack that he has, is unblockable and does a lot of damage if it connects.
Oh, nice. Yeah, okay. So that's just his zone attack. Oh, so it's pretty cool that it's unblockable as well.
Right. And last but not least is, of course,
Sprint attack.
is his sprinting heavy attack.
Nice, okay. Well, that's pretty cool. So he's got some really big arms. Does he have some kind of special throw or something? Because I heard something about that.
Of course he does. Anyone who's played For Honor knows that the Raider can pick
Oh
you up
God!
and carry you a very far distance if he
Oh,
holds the button down.
so he can do that out of a sprint?
Yes, he can do it 2 ways. He can sprint and grab you.
Okay.
He can guard break you and just do a forward throw, and instead of throwing you, he will just carry you.
Oh God! And when he puts me into a wall, he just knees my face.
That's right.
All right. Yeah. This guy is the total package. He's got everything just the way he looks. The basic movement set of the Raider seems actually really, really cool, but what really caught my eye were 2 things that you mentioned and also showed, which was the Pommelstrike, which looked really cool because it stuns you, and the zone attack, which isn't unblockable, and he also shouts some gibberish, which sounded really cool. So could you go into detail about what exactly the Pommelstrike and the zone attack are, and what you can do with them on the Raider?
Of course, the Pommel Strike is your fastest attack that you have available to you, so you can use that to surprise anyone who has a very solid defense. So, as I showed before, it stuns you when it hits you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so there's two ways you can initiate a pommel strike. You can either dash forward and hit somebody, or dash left and right to hit somebody. All you have to do is dash and press light attack.
Oh yeah, or dash forward and light attack. I
That's
think,
right.
yeah, dash backwards, yeah, obviously it doesn't work because physics don't work like that. Okay.
Of course, that is the first way to initiate a pommel strike. The second way is to soft feint it from a heavy attack.
Oh, wow, okay. So by a soft feint, you mean that I throw a heavy attack, but instead of using the feint button and canceling my attack, I use a light attack instead, and that's going to throw the pommel strike.
Exactly. If you're
Okay,
going
so
to input this for yourself, all you have to do is press light attack in the window you would normally hard feint.
oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, it's the exact same window. Nice. Okay.
Alright, so next we should talk about the zone attack, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so the zone attack is kind of weird because if you do it from a static standing position, it only does a little bit of damage.
Okay.
However, there is a way around this because if you combo it first from just about anything,
Oh
it
wow,
does
yeah.
its full damage.
It looks really different as well. Like he grabs like the axe at the very end. Yeah.
There you go.
Nice. Okay. So I
Alright,
have
so
the lower damage version just out of neutral, but if I hit you with anything before, then he does like a much stronger swing. Nice. Okay.
that's right.
So how can I use the pommel strike and the zone attack, you know, while playing him? How do I put them into my combos?
Well, there's a few ways. First is the way I prefer to do it is to soft feint and hit your opponent.
Right.
But there is another way. If someone is wise of your pommel strike, they're going to be holding top guard for the most of the fight because they're waiting for it.
It makes sense, yeah.
One way to make sure that it connects is to throw a feint first. Excuse me, I messed it up there.
Yeah, that's
You
fine.
throw a feint first and then soft feint it into a pommel.
Oh, wow, okay. That costs a lot of stamina, though. Wow.
Of course, but if you want to get through your opponent's defense, sometimes you have to
Yeah.
make a little sacrifice. And it'll throw them off their game, because they expect the raider to be nice and slow and easy to block. And then you hit them with that, and it throws them off.
Oh, sorry, that was me messing up my feint there.
And
Nice, yeah, that is really quick, actually. Yeah, I can see people getting messed up by that.
there is one other mix-up that is also very costly as far as stamina is concerned, and that is throwing out your zone attack and then hitting them with a quick light attack when they're trying to parry it. Because most people see the zone attack as an easy parry
Yeah.
if they're experienced. So they can't resist. And then you just hit them with a light attack when they're trying to parry it.
So you just literally canceled the zone attack by a normal feint.
Yes, it's a hard feint.
Just a hard feint. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that costs a lot of stamina, obviously, but yeah.
Yes, if you want to break through your opponent's defense, sometimes you have to use a lot of stamina to do so.
Alright, so Pommel Strike and Zone Attack are definitely really cool, but I can't get away from these incredibly easy to remember combos. You know, it's always like press the button 3 times. But like, why would I ever use that heavy combo? I mean, it looks great and it seems to be doing good damage, but it's so slow. How would I use that?
Well, you're right about that. They're very slow and they do a lot of damage. So they're mostly used for zoning, as far as I'm concerned. So if you're at full distance, you can just start swinging, and your opponent is forced on the defensive, because if they try and go for an attack, they're going to trade with the raider, and they don't want that.
Yeah. Yeah, these
So-
have huge travel range. Like, I'm all the way over here, and then I actually make
You're
it to
hitting
you
me.
with that last hit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you cover a lot of distance. It's pretty scary, and the Raiders heavy is something not a lot of people pull out because it's totally impractical in most situations.
Yeah.
Now, the heavy light heavy is another one, because let's say we are this close. It's not close enough to hit you with the first heavy. It can hit you with the second attack. So if I throw out, pardon me, I didn't mean to hit you. If I throw out the first heavy but I miss, I can hit you with a light.
Ah, right.
You may be thinking that you can punish me for whiffing the first heavy, but the light is very quick. And it will hit stun your opponent before they have a chance to retaliate.
Nice. So it's all about like being at a medium range and kind of using your attacks to carry you forward.
Yes.
Are his top light and his top heavy? They seem to be very slow, like especially the top heavy.
Yes, it's very slow, but the top heavy does an absurd amount of damage compared to the side heavies.
And they seem to have a huge range as well, yeah.
It's very, very damaging if you're using it on an opponent that is either wall stunned or knocked down.
The top heavy as a second hit is actually really fast, I noticed.
It's like that for every heavy in his second heavy chain. The second heavy is quite fast.
Yeah.
It also does the least amount of damage, so it's still very scary, but just know that it's quick, and it doesn't do quite as much damage, but it's still very worth using.
Alright. So, I mean, that zone attack, though. I mean, you already went over that I can, throw an attack, like I can throw a heavy, and then I can do the zone attack, and it'll come out and it'll do its full damage. So, does that have combo potential? Can I like, mix up with that?
Of course you can. They have the property where if you combo it with something, it does its full damage, which you want to do as much as you can get away with. Most people are going to panic when they see that coming at them after they've already been hit.
Yeah.
So chances are they're going to parry early if you let the attack go through.
I take it I can... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Attacking and you try and parry it, you're probably going to not be thinking as clearly as you would otherwise.
Yeah, because I'm just focused on the parrying of the zone attack.
That's right.
Right. I take it also carries me very far, so if I, for example, if I go heavy zone attack, yeah, this carries me super far as well, okay.
Right, and one last thing that I should probably mention is if I'm hitting you, your first reaction might be to try and dodge backwards, and if you try and do that, it's going to hit you anyway because it has a very, very far reach.
Okay.
So try and dodge this.
Oh yeah, it has a very far reach. Okay, yeah.
So yes, this will catch out assassins who even try to dodge to the side. If they do it too early, it will still hit them.
So most people are going to try and parry that that zone attack, obviously.
Only people with a cool head will be able to parry it on time.
But what if you play against someone like that? What can you do with the zone attack then?
Well, of course, you can feint it, which I already showed earlier.
Yeah. Ah, and then you could feint it into something else. So I could go like this zone attack. Oh, sorry, that was a bit too late. So I could go this. Oh, give me a sec. This zone attack. I don't have the stamina for this. I'm sorry. Let's go. Okay, so heavy zone attack feint, and then I don't know, maybe a light.
Yes.
Okay.
It's very costly in stamina, but it's worth it if you ask me.
Yeah, because it's so telegraphed, the zone attack, right? So people who play a lot against Raider, they just know that thing.
Yes.
They just want that parry. All right.
That's right.
Is it in any way possible? I mean, these are some pretty decent combos, that you can use and everything, but there's the Pommelstrike left. Can I combo the Pommelstrike? Because you said that I can soft feint it from a heavy, so if I have a 3 heavy combo, can I put the Pommelstrike in there?
Unfortunately not. The Pommelstrike is kind of like its own entity. Like, if I were to soft feint it and hit you, the only thing that combos into it is another light attack from any direction.
Right. So if I do a heavy... Oh yeah, I can't soft feint it, yeah. So the only way I could do it, I guess, is if I did like a heavy feint... Oh, sorry. Like, heavy feint and then like a dash, maybe? So heavy, and then like this.
Yes, exactly.
But that costs an insane amount of stamina. Okay. So the Pommelstrike is its own entity. It cannot be comboed unless you literally like stop your combo with a feint and basically do it out of a dash. Or with
That's
another
exactly
heavy
right.
soft feint. Alright, okay.
Yes, those are the only two ways you can initiate a pommel strike, unfortunately.
Okay, so we've got some really powerful attacks and everything, but here's something that, I always have to ask for every class because every class can use this and it's, like a general mechanic. Guard breaks and parries. If I guard break someone, what are my guaranteed follow-ups and what should I do?
Well, if you guard break any class, the only thing that you're guaranteed is a light, unfortunately.
Oh, wow, okay.
So guard break me, I'll show you what I mean. Try and heavy me.
Okay. Yeah, so my light goes through, but the heavy is just blocked.
That's right.
Okay. But the Raider has, he has this cool throw where he picks you up and he throws you. Does this give us anything?
Sadly, it doesn't even guarantee you a heavy. If I throw you down and throw a side heavy, you will still be able to block it.
But you need me in the face earlier when you threw me against the wall. Is that enough to get a heavy out?
Well, let's try it.
Okay, I'll just line up with this conveniently placed door.
Yeah. Alright, now try and block this attack.
Yeah, easy. Oh, wow. Okay, so even after you knee me in the face, you can't guarantee a heavy. So the Raider doesn't get a heavy at all after a guard break, does he?
I know, it's kind of sad, but that's only if you carry someone into a wall. And while we're talking about this, I want to go over something that a lot of Raiders think they can get away with.
Okay.
And that is doing an unblockable swing after carrying someone into a wall. You can parry it. In fact, I want you to try and parry it.
Oh, okay. Yep, I did that.
You see how much stamina that just took away from me?
Yeah.
I had like 20% left.
The indicator actually came back because the stun actually ran out, so I could see the indicator again for a split second.
Yes, it's such a long startup that the stun even goes away, and you have time to parry it.
So I take it works against like inexperienced players, but once they've seen the zone attack and have the timing down a little bit, it's basically
once they know they can parry it, they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So it's not worth trying. The only thing that you can get off of a carry into a wall is a light combo at best.
Oh yeah. And that was just luck just now, by the way, me being stunned. I just parried me blocking that second one. I didn't actually see that coming. That was just luck that my guard was on that side. Okay,
Right.
so to summarize, after a guard break or a throw on the ground, or, like the throw into the wall with the knee to the face, the Raider does not get a heavy hit guaranteed, only a light.
Right.
Wow, okay. Well, I mean, that's a guard break, but obviously there are the parries. We talked about, our own zone attack getting parried. But if I parry as the Raider, if I parry another class, obviously if I do a parry, I get a guaranteed guard break. So we now know that I get the guaranteed guard break, I can do a guaranteed light, which is sad. But there are those classes like, say, the Nobushi, the Valkyrie, the Shugoki, the Lawbringer, all these people with really big weapons and so on, where when I parry them, or when I have to say when I parry their heavy attacks, I throw them so far away that my guard break isn't actually guaranteed. What do I do against those people?
Well, what you can try is if they're pushed just far out of range, you can go for a pommel strike and hope it connects.
Alright, because it's pretty fast, right?
It's quite fast, because you'll recover in time to throw it out while they're still in the stun.
Right, so could you parry me real quick and show that? So I'll throw a heavy.
Right?
And then you just...
Oh, pardon the
muscle memory guard break.
habit.
I know the feeling. Okay, one more time. Here it comes.
Alright.
Alright, so that is pretty fast. Like, I don't know if those classes can do it, but I guess that's your best follow-up, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll do a little bit of damage, but it's better than nothing.
Okay, so we basically can't get a guaranteed heavy from any kind of guard break at all, then?
Well, not exactly. You can get a side heavy for sure if you wall stun your opponent.
Oh, okay.
And I'll show you what I mean. So I need you to try and block this for me.
Yeah, that did not work. Alright, so
Right.
you have to, like, normally throw me into the wall, but you can't do it by carrying me.
That's right.
Alright, I see. So a wall bounce, basically a wall stun gets it. Okay. Okay, well that's good to know. So, Guardbreaks and feints, everything, power attacks, a cool zone attack, Pommelstrike, etc., etc. So, if we take this whole thing, this whole package called Raider, and we all mix it together, what is his playstyle? How do you play the Raider? What do you do? And do you have anything else like that the Raider can maybe do that's a little out there?
Well, I think the best thing the Raider has going for him is that he's very good at surprising his opponent. He can switch on the fly from being very slow to be lightning fast. So if I were to start a duel at the neutral distance like this, I would usually start by swinging a few times with the heavy to get a feel for the distance.
Right.
And then I try and see how my opponent reacts. If they try and move in after the first heavy, I know I can usually land a second heavy.
That makes sense to me, okay. Oh, I love that zone attack you can just mix up like that. That's so great.
That is your most damaging combo you have, is 2 heavies and ending it with that, by the way.
Oh yeah, I bet. If all 3 of those would hit, that must be devastating.
Yes.
Of course, getting them to hit, I take it, is another thing entirely.
Right. So you transition from zoning your opponent with a few heavy attacks into, starting the fight with usually a Pommelstrike. That's assuming they're not resting their guard top as they should against the Raider. So if you're fighting an opponent and you do a heavy feint into a soft feint, that'll usually throw them off.
Yeah, definitely. And then you get the little stun as well, which helps you, of course.
That's right.
Oh, I could barely block that one.
Yeah, I was too close to the wall there, so you recovered in time to block that one.
Yeah.
That's something that should be kept in mind.
Oh, that didn't actually reach the wall. Alright, okay.
Right. And I suppose while we're talking about throwing your opponent around, we should mention a secret move that the Raider has that I neglected to mention earlier. That's right.
Secret move. Alright, okay.
I'd like to see it.
I'm all ears, man. What do you got?
Alright. Well, he can throw your opponent behind, except you can just hang on to them and whirl them around in a circle.
Wait, what?
Alright. You just hold down the button and you will just spin them around.
Okay. So the Raider, if you keep playing him, do you play him very aggressive? Do you play him very defensive? Like, how do you play him? How do you play him in general? What's your style?
Well, since his parries don't bear a lot of fruit, I prefer to go on the offense most of the time.
Okay.
Some people might see that as a bad idea, but it really suits the Raider, if you ask me. Because being able to switch your attack speed from extremely slow to very fast, it can really throw people off if you're constantly switching it up.
Yeah, like he can switch up a lot, can't he? Like I actually didn't think that such a huge character could actually have such cool switch ups.
Right.
Especially this fucking thing, but then you just do that and it's like, oh my god, my zone attack is gone.
Yes. You're going to run out of stamina pretty frequently as Raider if you use your zone attack at any time, really.
Right.
So let's talk about opponents who are out of stamina and trying to stay away from you now that we're on the topic.
Okay. Well, I can be out of stamina with a little trick right here.
Alright, so try and avoid me.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to do that, the sprinting grab. All right.
Everyone who has a Raider sprinting at them knows what's about to happen, right? They think this is going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, I barely dodged that. That was
easy to avoid. However, anyone who's watched the Conqueror video knows what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is I'm locking onto you right as I get up to you, and then I just guard break as you try and dodge away.
Yeah, because you're basically mind gaming me into thinking you're gonna be doing that sprint attack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you have free reign to just throw them down and clobber them.
Wow. So the only thing, like, I have to dodge basically.
That's right.
I have to dodge. If I don't dodge, you'll just do the sprint. If I dodge, you'll just don't do the sprint and you do the guard break. Wow, okay. So what would you do against that? Just throw a light attack? Try and throw a light
If
attack or
you're out of
something?
stamina, you're kind of
Oh yeah, when I'm out of stamina. Yeah, you're right.
yeah. If you're out of stamina, you don't really have a lot of options because you
I
can't
can
hit me
try
out
it.
of
Ugh.
If I don't see it coming, yes, that will stop me. But
Yeah.
you're kind of at a loss because
Yeah, because I don't know what's coming.
if you try and dodge it, I'm going to be able to get the guard break. If you just stand there, I'm going to be able to
Yeah.
grab you, of course.
So, but this is why, because you said like with the light attack and so on. I mean, there is a way for them to stop it, but this is why you said you use it against people who are out of stamina and who are trying to keep their distance from you.
Right. Even if you have stamina, it can still throw some people off because they might be thinking that you're just like every other raider and you want to grab them.
Yeah.
But if you just run up and guard break them when they try and dodge what they think is a grapple, you can just guard break them.
Oh, so it's a 50-50 basically at that point, yeah.
That's right.
All right, good to know. At this point, we're always getting to that moment of the video where we have to be aware that as cool as this class is that we just, spend a lot of time with, there's 11 other classes in the game. And obviously, some of those classes are going to give the raider, not really a problem. He's going to just, I don't know, zone attack them off the map. And then there's some other classes that might give him a lot of problems, especially since he doesn't really wear a lot of armor. So, could you give us your opinion on the class matchups, the positives and the negatives for the raider?
Of course. Let's start with the good matchups for Raider. This might shock you, but the Raider is actually pretty effective at fighting assassins. It's kind of a shock, I know. But the way that I've been fighting assassins that like to dodge a lot is to usually feint an attack that makes them dodge to the side and try and do their side attacks.
Right.
The way I like to counter that is to dodge myself and hit them with a Pommelstrike. And another way to make an assassin do what I want them to do, and that is to dodge straight into my unblockable swing, is to hit them with a single light attack, and then, for some reason, that makes a lot of assassins go into full self-preservation mode, and they panic dodge to the side.
Okay.
The second they see the unblockable swing start, and they take it.
All right. Of course.
Full stop to the face.
Yeah, of course they have to try and parry it. There's nothing else they can do. Yeah. I mean, I guess they can try and dodge
If they dodge
it,
backwards, it will hit them. If they
Yeah.
dodge to the side too late, it will hit them. It's not favorable for them unless they can time the parry correctly.
Yeah, that's really good. So basically, assassins, you would say, for you personally, positive matchup for the raider.
If you're an assassin, definitely watch what you're doing fighting a raider.
Yeah. Especially since they don't always have their guard up, right? Like, which means, so if you throw pommel strikes in there.
Unless they have extremely good reflexes, yes. It
Okay.
will more often than not hit them.
Nice, okay. So, what is like a bit more of a negative matchup?
We've got some other matchups that are a little tricky for the raider. For instance, the warden, of course, because pommel strike will always be a top attack, and wardens just they cannot wait to hit you with a crushing counter. So if they know it's coming, you better think twice before trying to pommel strike a warden. So it's not a good idea to try and pommel strike a warden more than once, maybe.
Okay.
Another that is a troublesome character is the Conqueror, because his superior block will mess up your heavy string. And if he blocks either your light or your heavy, you're not going to be able to do your unblockable swing for full damage. And there is his charging heavy attack, which, in my opinion, is too risky to try and challenge them on. So if they start charging their heavy attack, just stay away from them.
Yeah, just back off. All right.
For the third class, I'd like to talk about. I'd have to say the Warlord is worth mentioning. It purely because Warlord is such a bully and he can just push you around however he wants.
Yeah.
Uh, Never ever fight a Warlord near a ledge or traps, because since he can just if he gets a single guard break on you, he's going to kill you.
Yeah. With his
Your
shield, we
best
saw that
option is to
in the Warlock video,
relocate.
yeah.
Yeah, your best option is just to relocate and hope for a more neutral ground to fight someone in, like in the courtyard here, where there's no traps to throw someone into. One more thing about the Warlord is you have a pretty average dodge for a raider, but it's enough to dodge the Warlord's heavy. If you see him dash forward, you know he's going to try and headbutt you. So an answer to that would be to dodge to the side and Pommelstrike him while he's recovering from his headbutt.
Nice, okay, that makes sense. What about characters like that have a lot of range? Like for example the Nobushi or the Valkyrie. How would you deal
I'm
with
glad
those?
you mentioned the Nobushi because uh, the Raider has a very long weapon, just like the Nobushi. So his light attacks have a relatively short distance, but his heavy attacks reach very, very far. So if you're able to throw out a heavy, I'm not saying the Nobushi is going to let you do that, but you have the distance to hit them. If Nobushi actually does attack you, be ready for the kick. When she goes to kick you, you can dodge to the side and immediately punish it with a pommel strike.
Oh yeah, that makes sense, yeah. And we're already at the end of the Raider Hero School. So, FoodTruck, thank you so much for taking your time to showing us the Raider, showing us what he can do, and talking about your experiences and playstyle with him. Thank you so much, man.
No problem.
So, do you have any wise words out of that, horned helmet there, that you want to give to any new Raider players or players who, have been playing the Raider for a short time?
Of course. The Raider is, as I mentioned before, very well suited to offense. He's got his unblockable attack, which is the best attack that he has available to him if you combo it first. It'll shake up just about anybody if you hit them with it. So yeah, that's all I have to say about the Raider. He's very strong and he's very fast.
Nice. Definitely faster than what I expected out of this huge body of his. But see, here's the problem, FoodTruck, because once again, one of you experienced players has fallen into my trap, and now you are useless to me!
Put me down!
Ah!
Like that!
Goodbye.